Welcome back
to episode 6 of Dirty Joystick.
Episode 6.
Let's go.
Of Dirty Joystick. It's been a long time coming. It hasn't been that long. I think it's only been like a month since our last. But we're averaging a month.
Yeah, it's doing good.
That's not too bad.
No, I was hoping we were going to get episode 10 before Christmas because I think we started at Christmas.
I think it was around Christmas or like November or something like that.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's going to happen.
No,
that's
maybe
right.
From this point on. If you get your setup at home, if you get it set up home, we can just do it online.
Yeah,
maybe it would be like much more consistent.
That'll be Dirty Joystick 2.0.
Yeah, revamped.
Mm-hmm.
So Activision, there's a lot of news about Activision. We got quite a few things to cover about Activision specifically.
Okay.
But this one is more to do with gaming as a whole, and in my opinion, gaming as a whole. So if you game on console, if you're a console peasant and you're in competition with another console peasant, we're still all gamers. If you're a PC elitist and you're against console peasants, we're all still gamers. I think we all have one common enemy that none of us really kind of focus our energy on like we should.
Okay.
And that's mobile games.
Yeah.
It's mobile games. 100%. Activision had the recent earnings call, and they make more from mobile games alone than PC and console gaming combined.
Holy shit.
So they make $831 million from mobile gaming in just the last quarter, and only 376 from console and 332 from PC.
You say 831 million?
Yeah, from a quarter. Yeah.
So that's not very far away from the big B.
And that's just from the one
shit.
section of gaming. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And you might think too, because like Call of Duty Mobile has gotten pretty big last little while, but they're not even making most of their money from that. It's Candy Crush, because King has Candy Crush and a couple other cash grab fucking games, and those bring in insane amounts of money on a regular basis.
You hook some old people onto it, with their fucking retirement savings. There's
some young people, but it's just like, why do you got to spend money on those? Like, it's a free game to play, then you run into lives, and then you got to pay $1 or something to get more lives, so you're just sucked into playing over and over.
Do you think it's just because of the ease, how easy it is to spend money on your phone compared to like an Xbox, or you got to kind of go out of the way to go into the store?
I think so. I think that's a part of it, and it's always smaller transactions. Like for the most, like you're not going to see somebody spending $99 or like $60 on one transaction in like Candy Crush. You're going to see like 99 cents, 99 cents, 99 cents, but like every other day, and that just fucking adds up. But people don't look at it as like a big purchase.
Like buying a coffee every day, and then at the end of the week, you're like, holy fuck, I just spent $50 on coffee this week.
You could have just made it at home or got it at work or some shit like that. But I think that we should come together as a gaming community, and we should thwart mobile gamers.
Well, how are we going to do that? We don't even compete against them, though.
That's a good point. Oh, some games are multi-plat, and you can play against the mobile version.
Do you think that's going to be the new meta? Like, if they do cross-play with mobile games on COD in the tournaments, like you should play on your phone instead of playing mouse and keyboard?
Maybe. There's some streamers, and there's some like hardcore mobile gamers, but I think for the most part, it seems like they're not really that hardcore.
Now I kind of wish I tried COD on mobile. I wonder if you can bunny hop on.
It's
COD
not terrible.
Mobile.
I mean, like I played, and like we were talking about Diablo Immortal, that was just terrible on mobile, but like it was kind of fun. It's just people are just spending tons of money on shit like that.
Yeah. It's
kind of just ruining real gaming. I mean, in a sense, obviously, if you want to play a game, it doesn't matter what you play it on, but it's hurting in my opinion, it's hurting like the console and PC market, because clearly people are just spewing out these shitty 99-cent games, microtransaction games.
And they could be putting that intellectual property into, or whatever it is, into fucking console gaming.
Yeah.
Put all that brain power into console gaming.
Yeah. That's what they should be doing, but it is what it is. Fucking mobile gamers. But Sony and Microsoft are back into court. Well, they're basically, Microsoft is trying to purchase Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, which is going back as far as almost a year ago where they started doing this. But it's got to go through a big court thing, and it has to be approved as to whether or not they can even do it. And they had a bunch of publishers and other developers and stuff like that brought in to give their opinion on it, and all of them were like, yeah, no, this is fine. Like, if Microsoft wants to buy that, we don't see how it's a big problem. And Sony was one of the only ones that was like, yeah, we kind of have a problem with that. We don't want you guys to own one of the biggest multi-platform games, Call of Duty and whatever else Activision, has as a big seller. So Sony has basically asked them to not allow it to go through. and they decided to do like there's going to be a phase 2 of the investigation for some reason. So they're going to check to see if it actually will be approved. So Microsoft might still not even buy Activision. It might not go through. But Microsoft's fight back for that was that apparently Sony pays block fees to certain developers to stop them from putting their games on Game Pass.
Okay.
So like Sony will be like, well, yeah, you can put it on PlayStation and on Xbox, but we'll pay you a few bucks if you don't put it on Game Pass. And that's kind of the heat that they're throwing back at Sony. And Sony said, no, we haven't been doing that. Like, I don't know where your proof is that we've been blocking games from Game Pass. So I don't know if they actually are or if they actually aren't. But EA's kind of pumped about if EA's kind of pumped if Activision does go to Microsoft, because then they would have PlayStation as an open market to EA Battlefield, Battlefield games and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So I think EA's probably like, maybe we do want this to go through, because then we'll have like our own platform to push all of our FPS games on, all the exclusive rights and shit like that.
Help their shitty games out.
Mm-hmm. Hey man, they're trying.
Oh man,
they're on season 2 or some shit. But I don't know. Who knows, man? The Battlefield 2040, it's probably just done for. Just work on the next one and like make it more like the original ones.
Yeah, because it's taken quite a while at this point. Like,
oh yeah, and you strayed too far away. You almost have to would completely change the entire game, which doesn't seem like they want to do. So you're kind of screwed. You're stuck with what you made.
Yeah.
I don't like soccer games, but if I was a FIFA player and I cared, and I also lived in India, I could have got FIFA 23 for 6 cents because of a glitch on the store.
Oh no!
So on the
somebody hit enter too quick.
Yeah, without adding an extra zero. The Epic Store in India had FIFA 23. What's kind of cool is like that was actually just the pre-order. So a bunch of people pre-ordered it for like 6 cents. And then EA found out about the glitch, and then EA was like, well, you know what? Like, it's our fault. So even though they didn't even buy the copy yet and it's just a pre-order, we'll still honor the copy sold. So the guys that bought it for 6 cents, EA was just like, well, I guess you can have it for 6 cents. Cause
that's pretty cool that they actually did that.
That's like finally a good thing on EA for not being a bit of a dick.
Yeah, that's interesting. Because
you'd think, well, it's a pre-order, the game's not out yet. We got to change this.
They probably didn't sell that many copies.
Maybe not. I mean, it sells huge in Europe. I don't know how big it sells in like.
I think soccer's pretty big in India too, though.
Yeah, it could be. Maybe they did. And you could there was people showing up online showing you how to change your localization so that your Epic Store was India. So you could just go in from the US store, from the Canada store. You could go into the Epic launcher, change your country, and just buy it for 6 cents. So people were probably doing it from all over the place. Smart.
Yeah, no,
dude,
it's
stonks.
Like, you got to keep on top of it to know that happened, though.
Yeah. Well, following Reddit and everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
Did you see the PS5 Pro controller that they showed?
No, I haven't.
Kind of looks a little bit like the Xbox Series Elite.
Okay. So it's like a bigger, beefier, heavier controller?
It's a little bit beefier, it looks like. It's probably heavier, and it's got all kinds of, like, customize your level of the... not the sensitivity, but how much
drag
and shit like that's on the analog stick, and replaceable stick modules and stuff too. There's going to be back buttons on it, but not 4. There won't be 4 paddles like the Xbox has. I think there's just 2.
Okay.
I think there's just like 2 back buttons, like one on each side.
I've only ever used 2, but I think if you played something like Diablo, you'd want 4.
Yeah, as many as you
to do your rotations, your spell rotations and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I wish that they would have. I mean, I've never tried. When you lent me that controller, I used it a few times, but I think I just kind of forgot that it was there. You'd have to kind of train your brain to use it.
Yeah, or play a game where it's really important, like it gives you a huge edge. Like Call of Duty, it's a massive edge having paddles.
Oh yeah,
to be able to aim and slide and do everything at the same time.
Keep moving while doing everything else.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
Yeah,
so
big time. I mean, I'd be interested to see what price it's going to go for, because they've announced it. They showed all the features on it, but there's no actual firm price on it yet. So I hope that it's not. And like, I know you love the Elite Series too, and it is a sick controller. But that was what is it, $250?
Shit, I can't even remember, man.
Maybe around that.
I think it's. I don't want to say. I think it's above $200 for sure.
Yeah,
because I got mine from EB Games a while ago.
I think it's around there. Maybe it's like $250 or something like that, $269. But I kind of now Microsoft announced a middle ground Pro controller.
Okay.
So I think that there's just it'll be cheaper. It'll be like $150. So right in between both those controllers, there'll be like a Pro Lite version that just doesn't have.
Even if they just had a normal Xbox controller but with paddles,
yeah,
I think it'd be alright.
Yeah,
like you don't, because the thing with the Elite 2, you also get like magnetic thumbs.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And you can lengthen them, shorten them. So if you have big hands or whatever, you can like domed or concave.
Yeah,
or
like
you get so many options.
I seen that in the carrying case there.
So if you just, I don't know, if they just had a regular Xbox controller with paddles, it might be enough for most people.
Yeah. And if you could adjust the strength of the sticks or whatever, the resistance on them.
Yeah.
But I hope that it's around that middle, like that middle ground price, because I'm not going to spend $250 on a controller. Like, I love the PS5 controller, and I've already bought 2 colored ones, so I'm probably not going to spend another $250 on one controller. Plus, I want to try to get another PS5, and they're still even hard to find. So that's half the price of a system.
Yeah, it's a hard one. That's a hard bullet to bite unless you're. I don't think there's that many games where you really need a super expensive controller.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, like if you're right hardcore into obviously competitive FPS, and you feel like the paddles themselves are worth it.
Like I'm trying to think of other genres. What's another genre that would be really good for that type?
Like another type of RPG.
Like a JRPG or something.
RPG where you got a bunch of keybinds or a bunch of controls you want to shortcut. Netflix is coming out with a Bioshock movie, and I'm pretty fucking pumped because now there's
such a good series.
I know. And it'll be straight to Netflix, so it won't be theaters or anything like that. And obviously Netflix screws up a lot of adaptations, so let's hope that it's not a complete mess.
Did you ever play you played all the Bioshocks?
Not all of them, no.
Okay,
I played through, I think I beat the first one. I played a bit of the second one, and then I beat Bioshock Infinite, and I really liked Infinite.
Oh, Infinite was great.
I loved that game. It was great.
Even the first Bioshock was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, they were wicked games. So I hope that like the director that they have on there, he was a director from The Hunger Games and I Am Legend. I Am Legend's a pretty fucking good movie.
It is, yeah.
And then the screenwriter is the same screenwriter as Logan and Blade Runner 2049, and like those are both pretty good movies. So I don't know who's starring in it. I don't know when they're aiming for release. But a Bioshock movie could be pretty fucking cool.
I think it'd be cool to see the whole city.
Yeah.
Underwater, and then the Sky City.
Yeah. Well, I wonder which one they're gonna like. What they're gonna go with it.
Yes, I forget the timeline. I can't remember the timeline. If it was the underwater city that came first, or the.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't. Oh, it was universes. That's right. It was parallel universes.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird fucking ending.
Yeah. That was good. I had to watch like a 20-minute YouTube video just to understand that fucking ending.
Sure I did too. I was like, I finished it. That game's awesome. I don't really understand exactly the ending.
But it was so cool though. Yeah. That was. I think that was probably the best ending for it.
I think so too.
Because it was a thinker.
Yeah. And the gameplay in that game was like so friggin' awesome.
Yeah, and set up for the DLC where she actually goes to the underwater city.
Yeah, I played a bit of that deal. Did you finish the DLC?
No, I never played it at all.
No. But I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to that movie. That should be good.
I love that series.
Well, we were at Diablo 4, which is coming out. They're targeting the 1st of 2023 for that. They basically went over, which is sad that they even have to do this, but they went over their monetization plan for that game. So, like, what they're going to do for microtransactions, what they're going to do for loot crates and all that shit, because of Diablo Immortal was so poorly received in that aspect that they felt like the need to be like, okay, well, Diablo 4, people are going to buy things because they want to, not because they feel like they have to, which is like, that's a quote from them. And I think it's hilarious because that's kind of like exactly how their mobile game is. So like you guys throwing your own game under the bus by saying like Diablo 4 is going to come out. You're not going to like feel like you need to spend money, but you can if you want. Whereas we have this mobile game version where if you do play it, you have to spend money, as much money as humanly possible, for loot crates and all this kind of other shit. But they're not going to have loot crates in Diablo 4.
Okay.
So you'll know, basically they're saying you'll know exactly what you're spending money on. If you're buying a certain like armor set or whatever, then you'll know. It's not like gamble for this shit.
Yeah, the loot crates can get frustrating when you watch $5, $10, $20 go down the drain when you're trying to get one skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's essentially, I mean, it's just gambling. It's just real gambling with real money in a video game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're never going to get probably what you see as the value out of it. Loot boxes could go away, and I think I'd be fine with that. I don't think we need that kind of shit.
We're getting closer to figuring out this whole money thing.
Yeah.
Games monetization thing.
I hope so.
I don't mind skins, man. Skins don't bother me because it's like if you go out of your way to buy a skin, it's on you.
Yeah.
And there are some cool skins.
Oh, for sure.
So, unlike, there's lots of games that have cool skins.
Yeah.
So
I was still pissed because I didn't buy that many skins in Warzone, but the one from Donnie Darko, that the big bunny mat or the big bunny outfit.
Oh yeah,
man,
that
I should have bought that
thing.
one when it was there,
or even the Saw one,
or the Saw one. Yeah.
Or Snoop Dogg.
There's a bunch. There's been so many. It's insane.
Overwatch had a lot of good skins too.
Oh
man.
Yeah. How is Call of Duty on friggin' PC and computer, like not the money machine that it is? How is there still mobile games that are out, like that are making more money than that? It's insane. 99-cent little transactions, and yet you can buy $10, $15.
It's like the Tim Hortons, man. It's a huge fucking brand, and they sell it $3 a coffee at a time.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's the only thing I can think of in comparison. They're a huge company.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And they obviously they weren't selling nearly as many things as they do now. Like they were only like coffee and donuts. And
now
they
got shitty food.
Yeah.
And we still go back to them because they branded it as a Canadian thing. It's not even a Canadian company anymore.
No.
So,
do you think we should be taking the metaverse seriously? So do you know Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, is starting this metaverse and putting like billions of dollars into this metaverse, and basically you put a VR headset on, you have a little avatar that looks like it was made for PlayStation 3, and then you converse with one another. You can have conferences and work conferences through this VR metaverse shit. I think it looks fucking brutal.
Yeah.
There's a couple screenshots of it online, and I don't think anybody really cares. I don't know what.
He just gives so many have you watched that movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
He gives those fucking vibes hard.
Yeah,
like he just wants to take over the fucking world.
Yeah. Well, he was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about how if you're in a meeting and you want to respond to someone, don't you want to just be able to twist your wrist in a certain way, and like because you're looking at a contact lens that has a screen, you could twist your wrist and do a reply. And even Joe Rogan was like, no, I don't want to do that. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you want to converse with the person that's in the room with you?
Well, that's just it, right? Like,
we're just getting further and further away from that.
It's getting to the point where it's like, we'll just make you all peasants. You'll have nothing, but you'll be happy because we'll give you this virtual world you can escape to.
I guess so, yeah.
Like, it's very Ready Player One vibes, and I don't like that dude. He just makes my skin crawl lately, man. Like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure he's just a lizard person anyway.
Dude, he's got some supervillain vibes.
I think he does. I don't think he's a real. He's either a cyborg or he's a lizard person.
Yeah, like even you talk like Elon Musk. I didn't like Elon Musk until I seen him on Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
and after watching Joe Rogan's podcast, I was like, this dude is like I like the way his brain works. He's like, okay, we're gonna do this. Like, I feel like he's a bit of a car salesman though. Yeah, he's the world's greatest car salesman, but at the same time, he does do some pretty cool shit. But like, I like that he says, "Hey, we need to get to Mars. We need to do this," and it's like, and then you listen to Zuckerberg, and it's like, we're just gonna fucking fuck your brain, and you're just gonna live in this. Oh man, I hate him, man. I can't stand him.
Yeah, it's almost like the exact opposite. They're both billionaires trying to just
like Superman versus fucking Apocalypse or whatever. Like, oh man,
that's hilarious. But this, I mean, in gaming, we already tried a couple of these things. Like there was Second Life and PlayStation Home on PS3, where you created your virtual fucking, your virtual condo, and you had your friends come over, and you just stood there and talked to each other with a microphone. I just don't think. I think gamers are already ready, and we don't give a shit about it. And so then his other only market is like corporations and doing like business meetings through VR headsets, which is just like, why even bother? Why don't you just do a business meeting through webcam or, something like that over the phone?
I could see the business meeting part. Like you've seen that in technology, like or not technology, but sci-fi since like Star Trek, Star Wars, like all holographics and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. And then you get more of a feel for the person and see their height or see their facial expressions better. But I don't like I don't like the idea of living in this fucking multiverse.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do meetings and do your business, that's fine. But
get the fuck out.
Yeah, leave us the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Like, we know what you're up to. It's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Gamers know what the fuck you're up to.
Yeah.
So
probably not your common, company leading business folk may not.
Yeah.
But we're gamers. We've been tricked before.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk's getting an expansion. 2023. Not much of a release date yet, but it's only on current gen gaming systems and PC.
About time.
I know. That's pretty much what they should have done with the game to begin with.
Sorry, last gen guys, but you've had 2 years now almost.
Yeah. And if this doesn't come out till 2023, who knows? That could be halfway through the year, and there's, it is what it is. It had to happen. This has probably been the longest crossover that we've had.
I think it is. Yeah.
And there's a lot of games that last time everyone saw as a cash grab, which it kind of was, but there'd be a PS3 game and they'd release a PS4 version but charge you full price for it, which is kind of a dick move. But just leave, instead of making that all muddy waters and shit like that, just leave those versions of the game in the past. Just don't even bother. Cyberpunk was delayed so long because of last gen hardware. And then it finally came out and it still ran like shit on last gen hardware, obviously specifically, but probably had issues across the board because of PS4 and Xbox One. But there's been a big resurgence of the game because of the anime that just came out a couple weeks ago. I know, I gotta watch that. It looks really, really good. Apparently, since that came out, they've got 1 million new players that popped up on Steam and shit like that.
Well, it's good timing for the anime because the game is in a playable state.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And I mean, even though it's in a playable state and it's still a great game, I'm sure the buzz in a way kind of died off a little bit in the last year. But now that it's playable and the anime is getting lots of love, obviously people are just jumping over to the game.
And who knows, maybe if me and you watched it, we'd want to do another playthrough. Maybe it's a whole bunch of the people who've already done 3 or 4 playthroughs are like, fuck, okay, this anime's got me pumped. I better try it out.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't even continue it. You finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, one of the best games I've ever played, too. I fucking love that game.
I really like it.
Very rare will I hit the credits and then watch the entire credits just thinking back through the playthrough.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, man. I fucking did that. I just sat in my computer chair, stared at the screen. I was like, holy fuck, that was good.
Yeah. Was it a cool ending? Well, I guess there's probably multiple endings.
Well, wasn't maybe the ending, but it was a lot of the journey. I like the journey that game takes you through.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's one that I'll have. I really want to finish that game. I like how I think when you resume, if I don't play it for a while, but I go back and load my file, I'm pretty sure it just puts me at the most active quest. It doesn't drop you in the world and be like, okay, well, what was I doing? What was I whatever. I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember.
The last time I played that, maybe it was just updated to do it, but I'm pretty sure it just starts the mission that you're on. Which is cool because it's so easy to jump back into.
Do that,
it's so easy to jump back into. Yeah. Well, we got there's an esports team, G2, and the CEO was basically popping champagne with Andrew Tate, and they put a bunch of videos online and got a whole bunch of flack about hanging out with Andrew Tate, the king of social media.
Yeah.
Who's currently banned from social media.
He's still killing it.
Oh yeah, I know. But for the most part, I don't see how he's banned. He still pops up all the time.
Yeah, but that's because I think if you're part of that Hustlers University, that's one of the things you have to do is create a Tate account and reshare shit.
Yeah. So maybe his main accounts, actually him, he's banned off stuff, but you can still put all his content on there.
Yeah, they're probably steady fucking deleting all these little minions, right? So, and they're hoping one day the minions will quit. So,
well, he basically, after tweeting some videos and stuff like that of him hanging out with Andrew Tate and getting a lot of feedback, he said, nobody will ever be able to police my friendships. I draw my line there. I party with whoever the fuck I want, which is, I'm sure a lot of people
stand up for himself.
But then after that, he was forced to go on unpaid leave. So he's not even with the company anymore.
Bit him in the ass a little bit.
Yeah, you can't be popping bottles with Andrew Tate, apparently. So, just so you know, if we see him in town, you're just going to have to wave from a distance.
This would be a bad town for him to show up because he'd have people partying with him every night.
Oh, yeah.
We are in Andrew Tate Central here in Fort McMurray.
I think you're right. GoldenEye is getting a remaster. Motherfucking GoldenEye.
No, man.
So Switch is getting a version, and Game Pass, Xbox is getting a version too. What's weird is I don't know exactly how that played out, but Nintendo had a Nintendo Direct, and they announced that the Switch was getting a copy of it for the expansion pass to N64 or whatever. And then in the same day, Microsoft put up a clip on their YouTube that was like, GoldenEye's coming to Game Pass with exclusive upscaled whatever visuals or something like that. So I think they allowed Nintendo to take it because obviously Rare is bought by Microsoft. Microsoft owns Rare now. But what's weird is Switch is the only one that's getting online play. So even Xbox Game Pass, which is going to have a better remastered version, won't have online play. Seems like a weird miss.
Yeah, because you could have had some fun tournaments and stuff.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So now you're stuck doing LAN parties.
Yeah. Which is cool, and like we love that kind of shit, but I feel like that has died down.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many LAN parties anymore, man.
I think that stuff's slowed down a lot more in recent years. Like I'm just crying for local co-op games, and I don't even get that shit. Fucking 343.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge L, because you could have had some fun tournaments.
Absolutely.
Like even if it was a one-time thing where we only did it, we were like, haha, look at this for like 2 or 3 weeks just to break the Call of Duty Halo fucking roundabout we've been doing for the last 2 years. Yeah. So, but now it's coming, but only online, and honestly, online on the Switch is a fucking drag just to get through anyway. So really, that's a weird option to only go with that. They could have had fun with it too. They could have did some cool updates, like they could have put slide canceling in it and fucking bunny hopping. And,
FOV slider. Man. Oh yeah, all the shit. Destructible environments. Yeah, I guess it kind of did. They had those crates in GoldenEye and like some random explosive stuff, but not very much.
Was it painted red?
It
was probably painted red. Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, when that comes out, obviously, if you have Nintendo Online, then it's covered in your price anyway. I'd fuck with some GoldenEye. Yeah. Although if it's the same analog, if it's only one usable with one analog stick, that's going to be pretty goddamn terrible.
Yeah, that'd be not fun at all.
No. G4 techTV. Remember G4 techTV?
I think I do a little bit.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome for gamers. Like, even though I might not have had whatever channel that was, because it was probably like satellite when I was in high school or some shit. It was kind of like you get a glimpse of it, and it's like, you got a couple hosts talking about video games. You got some good looking host where she's doing a hot dog contest, which wasn't related to gaming, but at the time it was kind of like, well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have TikTok back in the day.
We didn't have TikTok.
Yeah, we didn't have thirst traps back in the day.
There wasn't thirst traps back then. Just late night blurry cable.
That's right.
Well, they tried to make a comeback last year, so they shut down because it was a TV station. They shut it down, and then in 2021, of all times, they decided to try to revive it, and they basically failed. They did kind of very, very terribly. So they made a YouTube channel. They made a couple other channels to watch their content, but there's just such an oversaturated gaming market right now of content creators. So like if you go back and try to do the same thing you did in like the early 2000s and compete against the big YouTubers with like good production value, whatever, you're not going to hold up very well. Like you're not really aging with the times.
It really was a good show too.
Yeah, it was.
But we didn't, like you said, we didn't have a lot of variety.
No.
And gaming was in its early infant stages still. People might disagree, but like, face it, gaming didn't take off till Xbox and PlayStation.
The broad appeal of it, I would say for sure, yeah. Like, there was a lot of NESs and Super Nintendos sold, sure, but I feel like even first Xbox, first PlayStation, like, that's when they first started getting close to 100 million fucking units sold and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they're laying off a bunch of people. There was a host that they had. I followed the story a little bit. There's a host that they had that was, she went on some big long rant, basically attacking male gamers because, she read the comments section of her YouTube videos, which you should never do. She read the comments section of her YouTube videos saying that she wasn't as hot as the other G4 hosts from back in the day, and that she's this and that, and then whatever. So she went on like this big video attacking a bunch of the gaming community just saying you guys are, perverts. It shouldn't matter if I'm as fuckable as this other host or whatever. Like those are exact words. And everyone was just like, wow, like you guys really lost touch of what, like the whole thing you guys did before back in the day was like have your hosts in bikinis, have your hosts in like a hot tub fucking catching hot dogs and shit like that.
You changed your brand.
So you obviously knew, and then you had this chick come on here rant about everybody that used to like that kind of stuff and is just kind of being a big time bitch about it. So after everyone got laid off, she tweeted, I survived, let's play some games. And then basically a couple hours after that, she was laid off too. So they were just like, yeah, you can't that's pretty, read the room. Like if you're literally going on about how all your friends just lost their jobs and then you brag about surviving the layoffs. Man. Yeah, you're probably gonna get laid off too.
Yeah, it's cringy.
But there's just a huge market right now for gaming content. Like we already have tons of YouTubers, Twitch, TikTok, all that shit. We don't need some company that was big way back when to try to make a resurgence in it.
People are taking what you did and they're doing it way better now.
Yeah, so. And on their own. Like you don't need 30 staff to just make some good fucking content.
No.
And Halo, hopefully this is a good thing. There's a big whole overhaul going on at 343 Studios.
Okay.
So the director, Bonnie something, she was in that video that we shared online that she left 343. Mm-hmm. She was the director, and she left there after 17 years. So she was with 343 for a long fucking time. I don't know what games 343 made before Halo. Because obviously if it was 17 years she's been there, they were making games before Halo.
No, I think it was... I was trying to think of this too, man. I think 17 years ago was when they quit doing Halo 3. Bungie quit doing Halo 3.
Right.
Yeah. We're fucking old, man. It could be that fucking long ago now.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? They probably... I wouldn't imagine they were done with Halo 3 when 343 came into play.
But Bungie did Halo 3 and they also did ODST, didn't they?
Yeah.
It says, after co-developing downloadable content for Halo Reach, Bungie's final Halo game, 343 Industries released Combat Evolved Anniversary and Halo 4, and then they went on to... So yeah, maybe you're right.
Holy fuck, we're getting old, man.
Yeah.
17 years ago, and it feels like a blink.
Yeah. I thought they were maybe... Holy shit, 17 years ago they started making Halo 343, started doing it. Wow. Yeah, we old.
Oh my god, man.
But she ended up leaving, and actually, when I was looking online there, she was actually the co-founder of 343. So she helped create the studio and was there for 17 years, and she's leaving. And the lead development of, I guess they used... a big reason that Halo Infinite was delayed, I didn't know this, is because they started using a new engine that they made just for Halo Infinite, and they had all kinds of problems with it, like you always do with a new engine or whatever. So it was delayed time after time, and then basically they stopped doing the split screen local co-op. They've canceled all that kind of shit. But Forge looks actually pretty awesome.
Okay.
Forge looks like it's on track, and like if they nail that, they could probably get a bunch of Halo community back on track. Hopefully. Like, it's kind of hard to say because...
I think it's a good sign. I think they really do need to start reorganizing that fucking company.
Yeah. And if they did another fail, like maybe Microsoft should just look elsewhere if they really want to keep making Halo games. Maybe just pick a different studio.
Maybe... I hate to say it, but maybe Halo just needs to go into the closet for a while.
Yeah,
just like do a Disney and throw it into the closet for 20 years, let people forget about it.
And then make a big comeback and
start fresh.
Yeah. Because even the show is subpar.
Yeah, maybe it's just getting to that point where it's just we're so fed up. It's like, hey, just go away for a while. Just go stand in the corner for a while.
Take a time out.
Oh, man.
Come back when you've learned some things.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have such fond memories, and even though I was PlayStation over Xbox, man, the fond memories I have of the original Halo games, like you can't beat that shit.
Well, that's the problem. It's like they peaked too quick.
Yeah,
they peaked quickly in high school. That whole peaked in high school bullshit. Yeah.
And I mean, Bungie was obviously like Destiny's a pretty cool game, even though I don't play it now. It was pretty fun. It had some enjoyable parts to it, but Bungie was probably the best part of Halo. Like I don't see how they could really, because there's also that overhead Halo Wars, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that any good?
I'm an RTS guy, and I didn't mind it. It's not the best RTS I've ever played.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It felt nice on controller, which is weird. It's hard to get RTS
Really?
games to feel good on controller.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was all right.
They feel like they're definitely a mouse and keyboard.
What
kinda.
343 does really well, though, and I'll actually pat them on the back for once, their cinematics are fucking gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, Halo Wars has some fucking cool cinematics.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, even like the Halo 5 cinematics, there was some pretty cool ones for that. Yeah. It's too bad Halo Infinite, man. I really wanted local co-op.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, I feel like I probably would have played through it with the wife or something.
You and your stepson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Be a fun game to play through. Rockstar has basically had a shitload of stuff leaked from GTA 6. So a lot of gameplay. Some guy got a hold of a couple hackers got a hold of 90 videos off their servers. So proving, like that Vice City is going to be the setting it'll be in. It'll be current day Vice City, which is kind of cool. It would have been pretty sweet to have another retro Vice City, but whatever. It'll be current. It'll be current times.
Especially since that whole 80 vibe is kind of coming back lately. That 80s, 90s vibe.
Who knows, though? It'd be cool if there'd be like time jumps or something. So like maybe you'd go and play a couple areas of Vice City from like the 70s or some shit like that. Yeah. But it's going to have two protagonists. It's going to have a man and a woman, kind of like, and it'll be like a Bonnie and Clyde type shit where you can switch between the guy, you can switch between the girl.
Okay.
And so instead of having three of the main dude characters from GTA 5. So that could be kind of cool. Yeah. A lot of the footage, like there's a lot of people saying, well, the footage doesn't look great or anything like that. Like those people are stupid. It's in development. Like it's not like the game is they're not purposely releasing that for you to look at it.
Yeah.
That's like being recorded for testing reasons or like whatever. And some guy just hacked on their system and got all that shit leaked online. But the hacker wanted to negotiate a deal with Rockstar to prevent further leaks, and he basically threatened to leak the source code for both Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption online if they didn't pay him a certain fee.
Well, the amount of cheating that would happen, holy shit.
I know. But they caught him pretty quick, so the FBI was looking into it, and London police have confirmed that they arrested a 17-year-old on suspicion of hacking.
17?
Yeah.
How the fuck does a 17-year-old hack Rockstar?
I wouldn't be surprised because apparently he's part of a hacking group.
Okay.
So maybe just one guy had to be the fall guy, or one guy was sloppy and got caught. So unless he kind of rats on everybody else, like it was a group of them, because they've also gone after like Uber, they've gone after Microsoft. Like this is one group that's known, to hack big conglomerates and shit like that.
Okay.
But there's a couple interesting details that came out from this person hacking, and so far, if this is correct, Rockstar has spent $2 billion on just developing GTA 6 so far. And that's by far the most expensive video game ever made.
That's crazy.
$2 billion.
$2 billion.
And it's been in development since 2014. So GTA 5 came out in 2013. So they literally did start on GTA 6 right away, and everyone was crying for more, but they haven't even announced it until this year. Probably because GTA Online makes them so much fucking money.
Yeah, I don't think anybody predicted GTA Online would do as well as it did.
Nobody. There's no way. No.
It's still a fucking juggernaut.
Yeah. I don't know how you could have, like, it seemed kind of fun, and at first there was a few game modes and this and that, and then it was just like, no, now it's like a whole city. You own like you own your condo, you own your own cars and shit.
Yeah, fucking satellite that can drop bombs or something too.
Oh, really?
Like, I think. Huh. I don't fucking know. I think you buy like satellite bombs and shit.
Oh, weird.
I know, it's crazy.
Huh. And I jumped onto it when they released it for PS5, so I figured out what the hell, I'll jump on there and try it. Like, it actually seems cool, like how online works now. Like it's more of a story to go through it.
Start off with just no money, and then you work your way up to just this crazy gangster.
Yeah.
Super villain.
Yeah. Well, it took us until episode 6, but now we can finally talk about aliens.
Okay.
Been waiting this whole
I
no, I'm
love
just joking.
fucking aliens.
No, you love fucking aliens?
Yeah, I love fucking aliens.
So there's a new logo, and like I'm not too familiar with. It's basically the National Intelligence Manager for Aviation. So there's this big intelligence committee in the U.S. And right on their logo is a picture of a UFO. So it's got like 3 different pictures of spacecraft and like a Harrier jet and a couple different things. And then right there in the corner is a picture of just like a normal disc-looking UFO, and it's in their official logo, and it's in their official, whatever the marketing type of shit. So that's confirmation right there that aliens are real. And we're gonna get some sick ass video games from them probably. But I don't know. I don't really know exactly.
Do you really think they want to make contact with the human race in this generation?
I think that they want to make sure we don't blow the planet up.
Blow the planet up. We can't even decide what gender we are. Like, how the fuck are we going to operate nukes at this point?
Okay, well, once they find that out, because Russia's pretty gung ho. They're kind of waiting for their turn.
That's right. They are threatening people right now, aren't they?
Big time.
Yeah.
So you never really know. There was, all these tinfoil hat videos and whatever of atomic bomb testing, and a UFO would fly around it and disarm it. Probably fake, but it's entertaining.
Man, if you listen to Joe Rogan's, like, he's got some crazy, like, not crazy guys. There's some guys on his podcasts over the years that have had some crazy stories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like aviation guys, jet fighters, like pilots, and
well, there's no more denying it. Like, even the government is saying, like, we're looking into it. We're trying to figure out what it is, even though a lot of them probably do know what it is. Like Bill Clinton, there probably definitely seen a couple aliens.
So what's your biggest theory on aliens? Okay, what's your biggest theory on aliens? So how would you picture them?
Probably how a lot of the ways that we depict them, like taller, skinnier, apparently no genitalia exposed,
because you don't need that if you're in space travel.
No, you just hump through your brains or something.
Yeah. Artificial insemination.
Yeah. But that's kind of, there's either that one where they're taller and they're skinny and they got a big, like, taller head and big eyes, or there's some of the earlier stuff was their UFOs are actually smaller and they're just like tiny little fellas. They're just like, like not even a foot tall, and that's it.
That would make sense too, because the smaller you are, the less calories and stuff you need to survive.
Yeah,
be easier to do space travel.
That's
if you're
true.
tiny, less energy to get your fucking shit moving.
Yeah, well, yeah, because there wouldn't be any like Five Guys or anything to stop by.
No, you wouldn't.
When you're just
you wouldn't need to take 50 tons into the atmosphere. You could do it like in a 1-ton pickup.
Yeah,
like, imagine.
Way less piss breaks.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what do you think if they are, which they real, if they're real, which they are? What do you think they look like?
I really like the theory that they're here and it's in the oceans.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I do think they'd be humanoid, because I do think opposable thumbs are the key to ruling just everything.
Yeah.
You need to be able to have dexterity. I don't think tentacles are going to get you anywhere.
Probably not.
Like, they just seem awkward and fucking weird.
Yeah.
Even though octopuses do quite a bit of shit.
And they're smart as hell. Octopuses are actually really smart.
Yeah, I still think thumbs over tentacles.
Yeah. I would say so. They've got to have hands, and, how else can you give them a fucking big old high five or something?
Yeah.
But
I think I'd like the theory that they're here in the oceans, because their oceans are fucking terrifying, man.
Oh, yeah. And there's a lot of the oceans we haven't even explored.
No.
And they're even if they're not only staying in the ocean, if they're transdimensional, right? So they can go in the sky zapping around, and then they can go in the water, and
satellites can't pick it up because they're too far down.
That's true too.
Light won't even reach that far, so they could be way the fuck down there. Wouldn't even know.
For sure. Yeah. I think they're here, man. And I actually had to look it up, because at first I saw something online that was that Alberta had the most UFO sightings in Canada of 2022 so far. Okay. But then I saw that on like TikTok or something. So I tried to fact check it. And Alberta doesn't have the most UFO sightings in the country. But Canada has had over 1,000 UFO sightings so far in 2022. We might have just seen one earlier when we were outside there looking for Jupiter.
That fucking light was really giving her across the sky.
Yeah.
It could have been a satellite, but I don't even think satellites move that fucking quick, man.
No. But I don't know. Now a lot of it, apparently, Elon's launching all those, all of his satellites for internet and for whatever the hell else.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. Maybe your stepson will find one in his telescope.
Probably. It'd be really cool to have one of those telescopes that you just hook up to either your phone or to your computer, and it just scans like the whole time. It's just
They've
left
come
there.
down in price too, because when we were kids, they were
crazy
ridiculously expensive.
Thousands and thousands of dollars. Yeah.
They're actually not that expensive anymore.
No, you can get a couple $100 for one that's not amazing, but it would probably definitely get the job done. And you saw you played a little bit of The Last of Us. You said you watched kind of some streamers.
Yeah, I watched Frankie in 1080p play it through like a decade ago when it first came out. I watched the entirety of it on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Actually, I was gonna say there's The Last of Us Part 1, which was the remake of the first one, which is on PS5, and that's eventually coming to PC, like brand overhauled, brand new graphics or anything. Would you play that on PC or probably not bother? Because now you know the story already, but it'd be like cutting edge visuals. And
it's been so long, I'd probably forget about it. Like I'd probably forget a lot of the points. And I think if you played it, it would bring back a lot of the thrill. Like watching it was pretty thrilling, but I think it's probably a fucking scary game to play, man.
Yeah, it's pretty butthole clenching. That's for sure. There's some pretty tense moments in that.
I like the fact too that it's got that Resident Evil feel where it's like, do I use my gun? Am I going to need my gun later?
Yeah, ammo's scarce and shit like that. Yeah,
I love that.
You kind of, and there's even though I wasn't the greatest at using them, there's all kind of traps that you can make, so you can like set up a tripwire and then like make noise in that area and get the clickers to go through.
They're a terrifying zombie.
I know.
That's a scary thought, and they're real too. This based off of a fungus that takes over ants.
Yeah, it's based in real world.
Oh man,
that'd be pretty fucked up. And now the show, there's a trailer that just came out for the show, for HBO, and that what's actually cool. That show was filmed in Calgary, even though they're saying wherever they're, I don't know, remember where they're Seattle. The game took place in Seattle, but they actually just finished filming it in Calgary. So the trailer for that looks pretty badass. I'm interested in seeing it in a TV format, even though everyone's like, the game is already like a movie or a TV show, because like the cinematics, the voice acting, everything's all so good.
Yeah.
But why the hell not? Like there's so many other, we make everything else. We remake everything else in movies, and we fucking give sequels to shows after 20 years.
I like the idea of turning video games into TV series, because then it, like, there's still a stigma about gaming.
Yeah.
There's like the big stigma about gaming, how it's nerdy and blah blah blah, and it kind of is, and I get it. But it's also some of the best storytelling.
Oh, absolutely.
And people don't fucking get that.
No.
But games have some of the best stories you'll ever like experience.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for sure. There's been some actors, like really high profile, like top of the line actors, that have said like video games will never be art, which is like fucking bullshit.
Yeah, okay.
Or like the story of a video game can never give you like the feeling of a movie or a TV show. It's like, if anything, it can give you more, because you're actually playing, like
you get way more invested with the characters.
Yeah, it's an interactive story instead of just...
Nothing throws you off more than playing a game with permadeath. Like having a character that if they die, they're fucking gone.
I know.
XCOM.
I do usually like games like that. Oh, XCOM's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you play the harder settings, if your character fucking dies, and you spend hours and hours leveling them up, and then all of a sudden, I got this colonel that's fucking killing people, and then one bad click and he's fucking dead. Oh man, you'll never forget that. You'll remember every one of them.
Yeah. Oh
like,
shit.
You
That's
get
pretty cool.
Super invested.
Yeah, I do like games when games do that kind of stuff. There was one, Detroit Become Human. That's like it's mostly like a story game. Like you walk and then you do like conversation dialogue and shit like that. But yeah, it's the same way. If one of the main characters dies, no matter when or where or whatever, he stays dead for the rest of the game. So that changes all the different story, all the different story beats that it goes through.
Yeah, and it sticks in your head. You don't forget it.
No. Right on. Well, do you have any hard-hitting questions, Caleb? Because I don't think I have one prepared this time.
You don't have a hard-hitting question?
I don't think I have a hard-hitting question. Yeah. I know. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Yeah. What is this place?
Hard-hitting question. What's your favorite Final Fantasy?
Ooh, what's my favorite Final Fantasy? Probably 9.
9?
Probably
okay, so
9.
what's the story of 9?
The story of 9, oh man, geez, I don't know. It's one of the throwback ones. Like they went 7 and 8 was kind of like more current times, and then 9 was like back to kind of medieval times crap like that, and then the guy saves a princess.
That whole steampunk vibe.
They're definitely the steampunk vibe, yeah. But I think I like 9 the most. 7 was amazing, and the remake of 7's pretty good. You're playing through the 7 remake.
That's kind of where I got it from. Yeah.
Is 7 your favorite?
Yeah, because it's finally a Japanese game it feels like a North American game. It feels like an English game.
Yeah. I think they prioritized North America.
They translated it so well.
Yeah. I think when they made the new remake, I think they prioritized making it more American, making it more English.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's a fucking good game.
Did you finish it?
I haven't finished it.
No.
I'm quite a few hours into it now, but yeah.
There's still going to be 2 more full parts to it.
No, that's good.
And they're releasing. You probably didn't play the prequel on PSP, Crisis Core. They're remastering that, I think, this holiday. So even before the year's out, there'll be another one that's like a prequel to 7, where you play as Zach, like the black-haired spiky guy.
I think they can make the combat a little quicker paced and a little harder to master. The combat does feel kind of dumbed down a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's fucking good, man.
Oh yeah,
like
story's good. The graphics are wicked,
and I love the characters.
Yeah,
the characters in that game are wicked.
Oh yeah, Barrett and fucking Tifa and Eris.
Tifa, oh my god, I'd fucking marry that woman.
I know. They really reduced her boob size though in the newest one.
They did.
I feel like in the
it's HD though, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because PS1 days it was just those big triangles.
Yeah,
just like Tomb Raider.
The big old Tomb Raider titties.
Right on, man. Well, right. I'm going to see you on the next one.
That's a perfect way to end this.
Yeah, I think so. Titty Talk's always perfect. All right.
Okay, all right. See you later.